Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so through the talk we've just listened to, you mentioned a name, which maybe I was wondering, maybe we can share the the brief of how you think this person influenced culture-wise. You mentioned Londa
Mm-hmm.
Magere. This is some, I know the name, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the story. So maybe you can share
Mm-hmm.
um, the story of Londa Magere, and also how you see the person's role in bringing on culture in now the setting of arts we are speaking on.
Well, first of all, I'm trying to get my video so that y'all can see me. And second of all, Londa Magere is like a hero slash a hero figure in like lower ancient culture.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yes, yes.
So, so Luna Magere is sort of like a representation of what it means for the stories that we're told when we're young, how that sort of kind of makes us as a people and as creatives be more proud in what we do as a people in our art. So I feel like having figures like heroes in our times, Ulanda Magere, Mekatalili Wamenza, like I feel like stories like that help us to reinforce, to recreate, to reimagine our stories and the perceptions which help us to, create whatever it is that we create in terms of art.
Um, are there things you feel haven't been like crossed over, not crossed over, like we're talking about the contemporary times, like the modern times, from your knowledge of your culture and even the stories you've interacted with, are there things you feel haven't reached this modern times, so to say, that maybe you feel should have, like practices should continue from our culture?
I think, yes, definitely there's some things that we have thrown away, sort of like I've done away with that could be really helpful in like how we still create art as a people, and most of that is lost in maybe our new curriculums or maybe just how we live our life now, our culture as a people. And I think what we do is we emulate more of what we are taught is correct or what is proper, and therefore that doesn't give us as artists or creators enough freedom to do whatever it is we want to do artistically. See, so I feel like yes, clearly there's still so much more that we don't use now. The old stories. Even when you watch our cartoons, for example, most of them are Western based. They're not really based on our own experiences or the experiences of like our ancestors or those who came before us in terms of us knowing like who we are, like our identity, you know?
Nice. And I really feel you are one of the artists who like are playing a role or like taking initiative to like carry on these things, because like so much of it we aren't taught, but like
Mhm.
there's our initiative, or even like from like interacting with your music, you can see that
Mhm.
you're actively looking for this information, or like it's raising the term culture right now, and
Mhm.
carrying it forward for our coming generations, and really appreciative for that, for sure.
So current generation.
Huh? In like the
Say that
generations that are
again.
coming on, like through your music, you even sing in your cultural language. So if you feel
Mhm.
like this culture is still being preserved by people like you who are taking this initiative to even sing in the cultural language, as we
Mhm.
like continue teaching on with the coming generations after us.
Yeah.
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 Wamboy, do you have any question?
You thank you for those words.
So,
Yeah, and yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
so the only thing I can say is kudos, Jumadi, and I think that actually for me, that culture, like music that has culture in like infused in it, is the most valuable and is also more timeless. In the sense that you can like we have many R&B singers in the world, and you can't be as good as, for example, let's say Rihanna and Chris Brown. You know, like all those people have like their signature. You know, so if we can be
Yeah.
as best as we can be for ourselves, like if we infuse the East African culture into the music, we will be the best that we can at our space. And one of those artists being you and other couple of artists that I can mention at random who have managed successfully to infuse their cultural identity into their music.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say big ups and all the best in your journey. Progress and proceed and prosper.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I hope that so many artists can also take up this initiative or sort of this path and use culture, because I think our culture is such a vital tool in how we do art. So if many more artists could take that up, then we could preserve a huge part of our culture that is quickly disappearing.
May I ask a question? Like
Mhm.
through your journey, what essentially drew you back to like your roots, so to say? Because I feel like with the world we've been raised in, like literally, you're thinking you're being taught like a whole Western like or yeah, just another culture. But they I'm thinking there was a trigger that or that like something that maintained inside you that like uh, brought you back to like now taking up this culture into your art form. So was it like maybe back at home people talk to you in your local language, or was there an influence from just your culture that made it like realize the importance of maintaining it? Because of how we've been raised, it's so Western. Like we literally, even like maybe there are people who don't even talk their cultural languages at home. So what like drew you back to thinking or now taking this journey of maintaining or preserving or reimagining what can we do next with in regards to our culture? I hope it wasn't a really long question, sorry. Mm. Hello? Hello? Wambo, you can hear me?
Like
Oh, okay.
she's gone.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Can give it a minute. What about you, Wambo?
Jumadi,
What do you feel? What do you think of like culture in regards to what we're talking about?
yo, let me tell you, Mimi, by the way, since I got into like knowing myself and I understood that, oh my God, Wambui, you know nothing, you don't know anything about your culture. So I actively and proactively started looking for like a place where I can be taught or a place where I can access like Kikuyu cultural wisdom.
Mm.
And I was learning that for a long time until we were sued. We were sued by the Catholic Church.
Mm.
Imagine.
What?
We were sued by the Catholic Church because they were jealous. They were
What?
jealous. They even say that we are a cult. Yeah, they said that we are a cult. Really. You know, it's
Who
because they are
now?
used to having everyone come to their church. The Catholic Church,
Like sued like Protestants or like
because we
how?
had a center.
Like who?
Yo, we had a center. The Catholic Church went out against us. Because you see, we have a, so the Kikuyu culture, there's usually classes that take place somewhere in Kiambu. And now the event used to happen on Sundays. Now because they are seeing all of their people come to the cultural center to learn about their culture, it's like they were jealous and they just went and said that us guys were operating as a cult and we were being given the office by the county government. So imagine it was a whole situation. It was shut down, and then quickly after that, Corona happened, and now it was completely shut down. But now we have another center that's coming up that I'm not even sure where it is. I've not gone yet. But that place was such a resourceful space where people will just sit down and listen to like people speak of what how people used to solve problems a long time ago. Like
Is
yeah,
is this
basically.
the Toriamombi place?
So for me,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, yes,
You and
it's the
Walifunga.
one.
That's
What?
crazy.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's the one. So the thing is, it doesn't matter if they close it because they are thinking about it in the wrong way. If you just think about how like us guys are going to stop at nothing to learn, so they should just know we are smarter than them, you know. And right now we also have the internet. But on that note, like even for like artists going into their roots, it's so hard because we have so many people who are kind of acting against that path. Everyone wants you to be a Christian. Everyone wants you to be like listen to the new music. Everyone wants you to listen to the old school because they're like, hey, that music is so weird. So if this is the like efforts that our parents are always putting into for us to disconnect to our culture, I can only imagine how it is for the likes of Kenya Jumadi for them to be able to tap into it. But of course, there are people who are luckier than the others who are able to be like better through the education. But then there are others who are not lucky, like me, for example. And I can only imagine what it takes for Jumadi to be able to access um,
Amazing. Oh yeah. Um. Um. Like I think you just self-explained. I can't even say more. But that was really sad. Like even that our governmental like systems or like people you think who would help build culture are against it. That's like where we've become like where we are. So it's really sad, but also very hopeful. As you said, we have like
Yeah,
Jumadi still pushing this on. Um,
sure, for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. I don't believe it gets any easier for like artists who are trying to be. I'm not saying it's easier, much easier for other artists who are not like culturally, inclined, but it's like I think the struggles of having to keep in a culture or maintain it in a space where it's like quickly disappearing is definitely a huge challenge itself. But it's possible to do.
I've even thought of like like at least like Kikuyu, Luo, Luya, like at least we are a good amount of people. Like the other
Mm,
cultures termed minority. Imagine now how do we even help maintain like values for
yeah,
such? Like yeah, things are disappearing
basically.
so fast, but I'm still hopeful. We have people like us trying. But I have a
It's true.
question. Like from this talk, what can be the steps we, us individually, can do in propelling culture as we move forward, and also
Mhm.
advice to other fellow artists. They can we can give them some takeaway that people can do to keep back us have the culture alive even within them.
Oh, I finally got my camera to work. Is it on? Is it on? So, um, I mean, like, keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, like, keep being a beacon or sort of a person that people can look up to try to understand and identify themselves or create their own stories. And I feel like there's so much to tell, even when you look around. That really requires the it really requires the perspective of the artist to do. So I feel like we should engage more people in like happening around us, if we can incorporate language, if we can incorporate stories, if we can incorporate music, if we can incorporate dance that is sort of related to what we do and who we are and where we're from, how amazing. Because we need younger people seeing representation of people who look like them, who act like them, who feel like them, you know? I think it's always nice, even as a person in general, when you have someone you can look up to and say, "Ooh, I can do this, I can be that," because that other person who looks like me is doing that, you know? I feel like, oh, there we go. Turn on camera.
Woo!
Hello, everybody.
Yay! Hi.
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, to all the creatives and to everybody out there, keep doing your thing. Keep shining your light. You know, the sky is the limit, it's endless. And make sure that whatever you're doing is an authentic representation of who you are, and that's the only way you'll inspire yourself and inspire other people who come after you, you know? So yeah, keep doing it relentlessly, earnestly, honestly. And I think if your energy is put in the right direction, the universe will definitely have your back. Yeah.
Komburi.
I think for me, it's actually always prompting the status. Like there's always this kind of line. It's like it's an invisible line that is usually in between the traditional and the modern. And I think every day, us as creatives or as people who love the culture, to always keep like, I don't know, kind of challenge that line. Like, who said we have to do this like that? You know, like if we can always continue questioning all the time, and continue going towards where you feel your heart is. Because at the end of the day, no one is like, no one really says, like, no one has your truth. Like, no one has your your satisfaction. No one has your honesty. No one has your love. No one has your passion. You're the only one who has yourself in terms of your passion, your love, your everything that you love. If you really relate with the cultural, like, go for it. Like, that's the one thing I'll tell everyone. Because also things always align. The universe has always got you in one way or another. If you really start moving towards a certain direction, everything that you need will be offered unto you. Like, I feel like
Everything aligns with
that's the
it's true.
biggest lesson.
Nice. Great.
Yes, I agree 100%. Sure.
Maria?
Okay, yeah. I hope I didn't catch you up, Jumadi. I had you were
No,
about
no,
to.
no, not this one.
Yeah. I think through the words from you guys, it's a very very like light to do maybe like moving forward, but I feel like we carry an essence that is like likable, so to say. Like if you look at like Jumadi for example, like the way she carries herself, like she dresses so interestingly and um like just has an aura that attracts people towards her. And by this now you have that people lending an ear to the person. This is similar to like um what's her name, Mekati Lily, her story, where she would go to the various towns and she would attract people just by being herself. And then Chinyamaji, you share your secrets to unite your people. So I feel like we are like all cool people that like from what we do, we just have an essence that attracts people to listen to us. And by that we can use that channel to share uh, the information to people. They're using that essence, that attraction, taking advantage of any opportunity you have to share information that benefits the culture as a whole. Um, yeah, but it's been Jumadi Kwama. I don't know if you're still there. Um, but we can wait on her. It's been like really amazing talking to you both, like about this. I feel like these are conversations we can continue to have. Like culture is really really broad, you know. We can just continue such conversations, and as we've said, but if we start something, everything else will align. So kuendelea tu, just continue on. Yeah, I think she'll come back. Let's give it a second. I hope it was recording, by the way. I hope it didn't delete. Like, huh? I can't hear you, one boy.
Actually, are you recording? I hope you
Oh,
are.
okay. Sorry. Um, yeah, maybe some words from Jumadi, then we can wrap up our host for today.
Sorry, I totally missed out the last part because of my camera situation. But well, I'm so glad that you all were able to join today to the talk, and we got to share a few ideas, and that you also got to sort of like appreciate my ideas as a cultural practitioner. It means a lot to me, and I hope that in the near future people can or artists rather, because I think as an artist I speak for artists as it is, that artists can champion for more cultural integration and hence more liberation in terms of like expression and identity for people. So yeah.
Expression and identity for people. Liberation. Nice.
Yeah, Adam Kiboy is saying hi to you guys.
Oh, hi. Is Jiffy Chayan.
Hello?
Hey.
He's hidden, he's hidden. But
Nice.
anywho, thank you guys for the talk. Thank you.
Thank you as
Thank you
well.
so much. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed the session. Until
Uh,
then.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Jumadi. We'll discuss more. We see how to
we
continue
did, we
talks,
did for
you know?
sure.
Yay. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Amboy. Thank you, Jumadi.
Thank
Uh,
you,
Let's
Boy.
speak
Also,
soon.
thank you, Mom. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you.
Bye.
can you stay on Maria for a minute?
Okay, okay.